Yo, 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 diggity, check yourself before you wreck yourself. I, as your instructor for this class, I can't do that. Not that long anyway. My name is Sean Sarcona. I am your instructor for MAC 1200, which is called Digital Illustration. My apologies initially for the mix-up with the dates. Yeah, sorry about that. So this video will guide you through just the basics of the class as far as like what's involved, kind of like a first day handout walkthrough. So take notes, get a piece of paper and pencil, tell your cat to, hold on a second, and then we'll get to it. Good? Okay. So this is the Canvas course. This is the announcement, so you should see the welcome page. You can definitely read that. I'm not going to go through and read everything. You have eyes, and hopefully you can read. So then we can just kind of skip some of that stuff. You definitely want to check out every single one of these areas that you'll have. I have more because I'm the teacher, and they give me special things. But you won't have those extra ones. So we do have modules, which is probably where you found this video. I'll have it on the front page as well. And you'll see some of the stuff that's here. We'll go through it. But this area here, the introduction, is going to be stuff you'll need, just kind of like the first things you do before you do anything else in the class. Make sure you go through and grab the stuff that's inside here. Here's the first day handout, so I can click on that and open it up. I have it open on my other screen, which I'll show in a second. Here's a questions and clarifications discussion board. Here's some definitions that are helpful. Here are some hotkeys for Mac or Windows. For the class, you will need Illustrator, so make sure you have Illustrator. You can download a trial of it initially, just to make sure you like the class, and then you'll have to pay for it after that. So just make sure you have Illustrator for the class, because you will need Illustrator for the class. Here's some artwork examples. Here's some Terry White on YouTube, fantastic videos for Illustrator stuff. Pluralsight, I'll get into this in a little bit, and some other stuff. We'll get into that. Okay, and then each one of these areas will be a different assignment. Okay, so pathing, you won't see these are not published yet, but when they're published you'll see them. Music, icons, logo, Zentangle. Okay, those are our assignments that we'll have. Kind of need that one to be published. There's nothing in it. So ignore that for now. Syllabus, you can go to the syllabus area. Here is the syllabus. Like I said, you'll be able to click on that and view it, and I'll get to that in a second. Here are due dates associated with your assignment, so it's always good to see, here's the assignment that we have, this is when it's due. You'll see that our first assignment is due May 28th, which is today, the start of class anyway, is the 22nd, and then 28th is when that's due. If I talk fast, by the way, YouTube has a little thing really in the bottom right corner. It says, slow this dude down. It doesn't really say slow this dude down, it says speed. You can slow me down. Or you can just rewatch the video a bunch of times. You can put this on repeat and just have the entire family listen. Here's the assignments. Here's stuff that's due or when it's due. So make sure you kind of pay attention to those, because it's very important. This is an 8-week class. We're going to go twice as fast as a regular 16-week course. All right, I switch to student view. That way you can kind of see exactly what you're going to get. So syllabus we'll get to in a second. Here's grades. Okay, make sure you pay attention to the grade area, because you need to pay attention to these. You need to know like what grades am I getting on stuff, and when is stuff due, and how many points is it out of. We'll get to that in a second also. Okay, so pay attention to the grade area. Here's the assignment area. So you'll see each assignment and when they're due. Again, something that's kind of redundant, but it's still there so you can see it. And then we also have discussions, which we'll get into, and this is all the discussions that we will see. Cool. Let's jump over to the first day handout. Here's the first day handout, and I need to zoom out a bit. Just zoom. Come on. Oh, you have to hit the right buttons. If you don't hit the right buttons, it doesn't do what you want it to do. There we go. Introduction to the class. So this will be one of the items that you'll have to pay attention to. These are quotes, and I really like these specific quotes. They're motivational things, just things to keep you in mind. Read through each one of these, and you're going to pick your favorite one. And then one of our discussion boards, if I go to this welcome board, it'll say introduce yourself to the class. You don't need to go into expansive background, a short paragraph, 5+ sentences describing who you is, why you is taking the class, and what your thoughts about Illustrator are. Then choose one of the quotes, one of these, that you feel speaks to you. Mention the quote, then why you feel it speaks to you. You receive 1 point for providing this answer to each of the questions and replying to somebody else's. Make sure you do both. That's why the word and is there, so that you do both of these things. If it was or, then you'd only have to do one, but the word and means you do both. Now that might seem kind of silly, like this instructor's nuts, why is he emphasizing that? But there's a lot of students who will just do one part of this and you get 0 points. You need to do both parts for 1 point. It's easy, it's not difficult. Also make sure it's long enough. Short paragraph, 5+ sentences. If you're unfamiliar what sentences are, also Google it. That's what Google's for. Sentences usually have a subject, they have a noun, they have verbs, they have periods, they have capital letters, lowercase letters, okay? Those are sentences. Again, just something I want to mention before we get into it, so that you don't say, well, that's how I talk. I don't care how you talk. This is a class. Talk the way I want you to, all right? So, introduction to class, pick one of these guys, go to the discussion board, write down who you are, 5+ sentences. Doesn't have to be like, crazy detailed going into your entire life story. Just some basic information. And then choose one of the quotes and then tell us why you like it. And then reply to somebody else's. So you'll see the buttons here where it says reply to this, post your thing, and then you'll be able to reply to somebody else's after they post theirs. Okay, easy point. Within like the first hour of class, you could actually have your very first point towards getting an A or whatever grade you'd like. Okay, here's my information. That's my name. You will notice there is a U in Sean. There's not a W, there's a single U. And there is no EA in there, okay? So that's how I spell Sean. It's the best way in the world to spell Sean, and anyone who tells you otherwise is incorrect. There's my last name. I am, just to give you some background, I am the program coordinator for Media and Communication Arts. And I also teach mainly 3D classes, but I'm kind of like a super generalist where I can pretty much teach many things. Maybe not everything, but many, many things. So Illustrator is one of those classes that this is my first semester teaching it, but I've taught aspects of it throughout. I've taught Intro to Photoshop, and I've taught 3D classes and After Effects and other stuff. If you need to get a hold of me, see my email here. That's the best way to do it. I check my email all the time. It's linked to my phone. Canvas does have an email system, which is okay, but the problem is that I don't always get the emails that Canvas sends out. Sometimes you'll email me through Canvas and it doesn't go right to this email, even though I've set that up. So always best to email me right there. Here's my Skype. So in case you get stuck during the summer, you're stuck on a specific aspect, I can log into my Skype, you can connect to me, and then I can actually see your screen and maybe kind of point you in the right direction. We'll also have labs for the MACA computer labs, so you can actually go in there. Those will most likely be Fridays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, so it should be plenty of time. I have a phone number, but this is an online class, and so I'm not even going to be on campus. So don't call my phone number. Here's what's required. Writing utensil, note-taking paper. Okay, what do you think the writing utensil's for? I'm assuming you said writing stuff. That's correct. And then the note-taking paper is for, I'm assuming you also said note-taking. Perfect. That's exactly what these two things are for. Take notes. You will not retain every single bit of information unless you interact with it in at least 3 ways. One of the ways is hearing me say it. One of the ways is writing it down. And then another way is you actually doing it. That's 3 different ways. So if you want to remember stuff, do that. If you don't want to remember stuff, then why are you even taking the class? I don't know. Storage space. You'll probably need about 10 gigabytes or more. The files aren't terribly huge, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. That's how they say in Canada. Sorry. Pair of headphones. If you're like me and you like to work in the middle of the night, mom and dad, brothers and sisters, and dogs and cats don't like to hear you or hear me talking in the middle of the night. So you wear a pair of headphones. That way you can listen to all my awesome lectures in the wee hours of the morning or the deep hours of the night. And that will work out perfectly. You should plan on at least 20 to 30 hours or more per week. Now, some people need 20 hours, some people need 30 hours, some people might need 60 hours. It don't matter how many hours it requires. You have to know how well you work, especially the first like 2 weeks. You'll kind of figure that out, and then allow for that. If you do not allow for this time, 20 to 30 hours or more per week, you will not do well in this class. You will not do well. I will not do well speaking either. Book. Any Illustrator book I recommend just getting, especially if you wanted to really be awesome at Illustrator, which is a super awesome tool. I recommend getting any kind of book for Illustrator or vector art or really just anything that would help you in this area. Okay. And I also recommend a Pluralsight account. And just to show you what a Pluralsight account is, this is Pluralsight. You can get a 10-day free trial, which is awesome. I'll just close that. And it basically has super awesome tutorials. Okay, they're not always the best, but they're pretty good. Creative Steve. So way over here on the right side, if I scroll down, if I just scroll down, not too far, illustration. Or if I just type it in, my Photoshop gets its own category. All right, if I type in Illustrator, you'll see that what comes up is 272 results. There's 6 hours of Illustrator, 2 hours, 1 hour, 58 minutes, 4 hours, 2 hours, and then plus there's a whole bunch of other stuff, okay? Now, why would I tell you to get an Illustrator or recommend you get an online Illustrator course while you're taking this course? Well, this could just help you out, okay? Sometimes you may get stuck on a certain aspect of it and you want more information. For $100 for the entire year, you get this, and I think it's a great resource. Especially, let's say you finish an assignment early and you're like, what can I really do to kind of jazz this up? That's something you could do, is just kind of go here and say, I need to work on my typography. Here's some typography stuff in Illustrator. You'll see there's 6 hours in there. My videos are nowhere near that long. So you won't be getting, this much information in my class. Over a course of a year or 2 years, you might get all this information. The stronger your Illustrator skills are, the stronger everything else will be that pertains to that. So your motion graphics, your After Effects, even your Photoshop skills will improve based on your Illustrator skills. Okay, so I recommend that. Usually what people do is they will, depending on their workload, they will either get it during the semester or they'll get it right after the semester just to kind of, push their skills a little bit further in that area. Like I talked about, you will need Adobe Illustrator CC. All my lectures will be in CC 2017. I don't know why that clicked yet. I don't want to click there. Oh, man. Adobe Illustrator CC. 2017 is what I'm using, but you can use 2015, 2014. You cannot use anything below that because some of the stuff that we'll be doing will require specific tools that are not available in the earlier versions. And if you have CC whatever, you should be able to just freely upgrade to the latest version. If I go to my CC here, I go to my apps, you can see you can update, open, whatever. Cool. You will need a Dropbox account too. I'll have a separate video for this, but basically you're going to follow that link and then create a Dropbox account. Like I said, separate video, pay attention to that video. You can obtain trial licenses of the software, below is important information. Students get a discount. So for the Adobe CC package, it's like $10 a month or $20 a month, which is extremely cheap compared to we used to have to spend $600. And you'll get everything, which is really awesome. If you can't afford to do that, then you need to make sure that you can get into labs the 1 day a week that we have it, or just wait till fall and then take the class then. That way you know that you can get into the labs and work in class, for that stuff. Course description. The course is going to guide you through the steps and processes of using Adobe Illustrator and creating vector artwork for use in imagery and animations. Probably means nothing to you yet, but it will definitely at the end. Okay. You'll be able to use the pen tool, vector tools, logos, blah, blah, blah. A lot of stuff you'll learn. Okay. You can read that if you'd like. Here's important stuff. Assignment breakdown. We're going to have a pathing assignment, music icons, logos, untangle, blah, 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 all the way to the end. You'll see your discussion boards are worth 10 points. Okay. So we have 9 assignments that are right here. Each one of these assignments will have a discussion board attached to it, which I'll show in a second, or more than a second. We also have another discussion board, which was this welcome board. There's another point. Okay, so there's your 10 points right there. Okay, make sure you do these. These are probably the easiest points that you will have in this class. So just do the discussion board. I mean, it's 10 points, seriously. We'll also have some daily drawing stuff, which I'll get into again in a little bit. Now, if you look here, my points add up to 90, okay? And what this means is that out of the entire class, you're able to get 90 points, okay? If you just do these basic assignments here, okay? And every single one of my assignments is designed to be basically just like a slimmed down version of how awesome the assignment could be. Okay, so I want you to have time to play with it. So if you did all the assignments exactly as I say, you'll be able to get 90 points. And 90, if we zoom ahead a little bit further, 90 right here would be a B+. Okay, so if you did all the assignments exactly as I say, you get a B+ in the class. Now, if you wanted to get a higher grade, that's where you can do the other stuff. Okay, so going beyond. Now don't let this confuse you. It's simply taking these assignments that we have here and just making them better. Okay, not changing them, but just making them better. So like for, let's say, music icons, if we're doing 4 icons, you do 6, or you do 7, or you do 8. For logo, instead of doing 1 logo, you do 2 logos, whatever it is. You know, you just make it better. Or you make your logo more complex than the one that I'm showing. It's still a logo, it still looks the same as mine, but you just added more stuff on top of it. Okay. Infographic, you know, we'll get into more of these, but yeah, that's what you want to do with this going beyond. Okay. So if you would like to be able to get an A in the class, you need to go beyond. And that's how the world works. Okay, everyone is kind of average. There's actually a little bit above average, right? And then the superior ones get the A. Okay, there's also some extra credit, which I'll show a little bit. Keys to success. Set aside a regular schedule. Don't wait until the last minute. Avoid distractions. Ensure you understand what's required. Seriously, ensure you understand what is required. So many times people turn in the wrong thing and thinking that, you know, they spend 6, 7, 12 hours on something. Turn it in, it's completely wrong. Okay, make sure you know what you're doing. Watch videos ahead of working on them, take notes, and then re-watch the video as you work on it. This is a tremendous help if you do it. If you don't do it, it's not going to help you out. Don't be afraid to redo something. Especially in an online, we don't have the one-on-one of a class. So if you get stuck, sometimes it's easier just to redo that part than try to backtrack it and fix it. Okay? Do your homework, meet deadlines, ask questions, push your skills, push your skills. Keys to failure, okay? And these are things that people have done which have caused them to fail the class. I've never failed anyone. They failed themselves in the class by putting off their work, assuming an assignment will be simple when it isn't simple, not setting aside time to work. Make excuses while your work isn't done, guessing what is required, not taking notes, turning in work as you feel like it. Okay, so don't be any of these. Follow all of these. Classroom policies. So here's some attendance information. You can read that. Each week there will be a discussion forum, at least one typically, for each assignment. So make sure that you're posting to the discussion forum and you're applying to somebody else. If you need to communicate with me, shoot me an email. Typically, I respond within a few minutes to a couple hours. At the very most, it would take me 48 hours. Okay, so just be aware of that. It may not be right away. And if you do need more of, a longer talk than an email, then let me know and we can set something else up. Academic honesty. Do not cheat. Online classes, your dog could do your homework for you and I would never know. I probably know. But somebody else could. Okay? You're only cheating yourself. If you think that you can get by finding a job doing this kind of thing, or this isn't worth your time, let me tell you, it definitely is worth your time to learn this stuff and to do it. The easier time you want later, the more time you have to put in now to get that to happen. Here are some ways that you can, academic dishonesty is like cheating. If you had a tutor or friend complete a portion of your assignment, if you have a reviewer make extensive revisions, if you copy work submitted by another person, if you turn in an assignment that is similar to another assignment in the course, use information from online information services without proper citation, not really a whole lot, for us specifically. And then here's more information inside the student handbook, okay? A year ago or so, somebody actually turned in their friend's assignment, and they could have been removed from our entire program. And luckily for them, we were very lenient and didn't have to do that. Okay, and they actually came back the next semester because they failed the class, and did wonderful. Okay, because they just, whatever they needed, the kick in the pants, they did it. ADA compliance. We try to be ADA compliant, or every effort is made to help out people with disabilities. And if you have one, let me know. Obviously, for an online one, there's only so much that we could do through an online portal. So sometimes the recommendation is take it on grounds. But if there is something, let me know. Okay. Usually it's stuff like note taker or extended test time. There's not going to be any tests in this class, and all the notes are recorded. All my videos are recorded. So yeah. Confidentiality and proprietary information. You can read all that stuff there. Duration, the class is 9 modules delivered over 8 weeks. It's actually just short of 8 weeks because we have a couple of holidays in there. But yeah, we're right at that 8-week-ish mark. All the folders will contain a video, PDF, assessment, whatever. Yeah, so just make sure you pay attention to that. Here's our grading like we talked about. So pay attention here. If you want a solid A, look where that range is, 98, 99, and 100. If you want a solid A, you got to put in the work to do it, okay? And the reason for that is because everyone doesn't get an A. Everyone doesn't get a trophy for playing baseball. Only the people who actually win the games, okay? Also notice down here, 62 or below is an E. So hopefully you don't need to worry about that, but just to point it out. This is a lot of reading. Definitely do all this reading, okay? Essentially what it's saying here is that if you want to have a successful online experience, you have to be involved, you have to do the work, you have to make sure you're checking in, getting the assignments, starting them early, and then making sure that you turn them in as soon as possible, okay? And if you have excuses, sorry, we can't really do anything about your excuses. The class meets for 8 weeks and then we're done. Okay, if you have some little thing like, my computer crashed, sure, let me know. I'm really lenient on allowing you to have a little bit more time in the assignments if something happens like that. But if we're at week 4 and you say my computer's been down since the beginning of class and I'm trying to catch up, well, I can't do anything about that. I just hit the microphone. Okay, so read all that stuff. Here's what you can expect from me. More information. So read that as well. More relevant information. Week by week schedule. So handily, I put the week by week schedule right in your first day handout. So here's what you have to do every week. Read the first day handout, okay, for what we're doing that week, and then see what you need to do. So if you look, this says watch Welcome to Class. That's what you're watching now. Watch setting up your Dropbox. So guess what you do next? Set up your Dropbox. Watch playing in Illustrator. Watch the playing in Illustrator video. Watch the pathing assignment. Okay. Now this one is not a turn-in assignment. This is just getting used to the Illustrator interface. This one is pathing assignment. This is an actual assignment. So that is something that you will actually open up Illustrator, open up a file that I'm going to give you, work on that file, and then save it into your Dropbox folder, and then I can grade it. Okay. So that will be an actual project you will be turning in. And if we scroll down here, here's some turn-in stuff. The welcome discussion board, that's that thing. The pathing assignment, that's this thing. And the pathing discussion board. Come back to this. Discussions. I had to say it twice. Pathing discussion board. Okay, now for every assignment, this is the exact same instructions. Answer the following questions thoughtfully. Reply to someone else's post on their perspective of the assignment. Each answer should be longer than a few words and be complete sentences. It can be done in bullet point or listed fashion, but still make sure that they are full thoughts, not good, bad, good, bad. Okay, you get 1 point if you do the entire thing of posting your stuff and replying to somebody else's. Okay, you have to do both. And, say that word again. All right, what aspects of the assignment did you find most difficult? So whatever the assignment was, in this case, it's for the first week, it's the pathing assignment. So what did you find most difficult? Most people probably say the pen tool because it's different. How did you overcome it? And most of the time, the answer is going to be practicing. What are your thoughts about the assignment? How could you use this week's topic in another fashion or scenario? Okay, so really think about these things as you're working. All right, so again, you will reply to this, you'll wait for somebody else to post, and you'll reply to their post as well. Okay, so that means you probably have to check in at least a couple times a week just to make sure that you can post your stuff and get it back. And we also have daily drawings. So every day, starting on the Wednesday of this first coming week, all the way up to the Wednesday of the last week, I want you to draw every single day. Okay, so grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, and just sketch something for 15 minutes. That's all you have to do. 15 minutes, whatever you want. Don't think about it for 14 minutes and sketch for 1 minute. Sketch for 15 minutes. Just look out your door or your window or in front of you and just sketch what you see, or whatever is in your brain. Okay, for 15 minutes. Then you're going to take a picture of that, and I'll show you where to turn that in. But every day I want to see a 15-minute sketch. Okay, and again, this is, let's jump back. Oh, I'm already in the first day handout. Let's jump back to here. Discussion board is the easiest 10 points you're going to get. The second easiest is the daily drawing. Easiest 8 points you're going to get. You get 1 point for every week that you've done it. So as long as you do your stuff every week, easy 8 points. 15 minutes. I'm not saying that you need to sketch best tone beagles. Best sketches. Okay? I'm not saying you're going to be doing this. You do whatever your level is at. Okay? If your level is at all right. Let's look up doodles. There we go. If your level is here and you're just drawing these basic shapes, that's awesome. If your level is here and you're drawing crazy things or there, perfect. 15 minutes, that's all you got to do. It could even be It could even be simple things just like these. Like if you don't know how to draw stuff, guess what? Practice drawing stuff. It will work. You could even practice drawing circles or squares or lines or whatever. Okay, so 15 minutes of drawing. If you have questions about that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to use this. You're going to email me and you're going to say, I have a question about the daily drawing. Do not wait to find out the last week that you haven't been doing any daily drawings and you lose out on those 8 easy points. These are easy points. Do the daily drawings. Turn the volume up. That sounded too wimpy. And then rewind it and play it. All right. So that's week 1. So a lot of stuff in week 1. Like I said, it's 8 weeks. We got to zip through this stuff. Okay. This pathing assignment will probably take you a good chunk of time. Maybe 10 to 15 hours. Okay. It depends on how comfortable you are with the pen tool. Week 2, a little bit lighter load. You know, we only have 1 assignment, but we'll be doing multiple things in there. But you'll see there's a video that goes along with it. There is a turn-in part, the music icons, and there's a discussion board. Okay, not terribly difficult. And there's also turning in your daily drawings. So again, make sure you're doing that. Week 3, we'll have 2 assignments that week. Week 4, we'll have 1 assignment, and there will be a complete middle of semester survey. So during week 4, there will be a survey available. You fill out the survey, and you get 1 extra credit point. Again, easy points. So don't lose out on the easy points. I don't know why people do that. Like, some people spend, I don't know, 40 hours on this thing, and then like no time at all on the easy stuff. Doesn't make sense to me. Here's week 5, here's week 6, here's week 7, and here's week 8. That's our final week. You'll see that goes by super quick. That's July. We're already in what, May? Crazy. All right. If this is a future semester, then we're in whatever month you think we're in. All right. So there's the first day handout. Read through it. Make sure you understand it. Post to your discussion boards. If this is your first online class, obviously it's incredibly overwhelming, but don't let it be too much of a hassle, right? Okay. What else? All right. So you've looked at the first day handout. Here's questions and clarifications. If you have questions that you've emailed me, let's say 2 hours go by, I haven't responded, post it here. Maybe one of your peers will have the answer a little bit quicker than I can get to my computer, because sometimes I have to look on my computer, sometimes whatever. So you can post it there too. Here are some definitions. Let's put that up. And we're not going to have a test on these, but these are important things that you should know. Okay. If this were an on-ground class, we would definitely have a test on these kinds of things. But because it's online, I see little value in giving you an online test on definitions where you could literally be sitting at home with the definition sheet in front of you. Okay, so definitely read through this, because when I say things like gradient, if you're not sure what a gradient is, here's a definition of it. If you're still not sure, then guess what? Google it. Here's what hue means. Here's what JPEG is. Here's what layer is. Okay. We also have hotkeys for Macs and hotkeys for Windows. This is another thing that we would have in an on-grounds class. We'd have a hotkey test, but again, not much value in doing that for an online class. But whatever version you have, Windows or Mac or whatever OS, I would definitely print this up, have it on hand. These things are hotkeys. They make your work go super quick. Look how quick this is. You see I'm switching between stuff? That's super quick, because I have a hotkey that I can do that. Okay, so use hotkeys. Lots of hotkeys. I'll be using them throughout the class. So you may not see me go over to a menu item and specifically click on it. And obviously that's going to be very confusing, because you'll be like, whoa, how do you get that tool? Well, guess what? I will say the tool, and you will have the hotkey right there that you can then go to and get. Okay. Now, because I work in so many different applications, sometimes I'll hit the wrong tool first. Like for the pen tool in After Effects, it's G, but in Illustrator, it's P. Stupid. Same creator, whatever. No big deal to you, but definitely to me, it sucks. All right. So, and it will suck for you too when you get into After Effects and you have to re-memorize hotkeys. And a lot of these will be the same for other programs. So if you have a Photoshop class, a lot of these hotkeys will also work in there. Like, I mean, new file, save file, that's like across the board pretty much. Close file. Notice that these are the Windows hotkeys. I use a Windows machine. This is Windows. I like Windows the best. It's the best thing in the world, next to Keyline Pi. There's also a Mac version. So if you have a Mac at your home, print that one up. Okay. Here's some other stuff. So Illustrator Artwork. This is just cool Illustrator artwork. You know, what is Illustrator? This is Illustrator stuff. Okay. And you can see the different styles that are inside here. It's not necessarily one specific, like realistic or not realistic. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go with this. And there's people who that's all they do is Illustrator all day long. And now what's cool about this is we're only seeing these in stills, but these could also be animated too by bringing them into After Effects. And for what we're doing, you can illustrate stuff as a still image, but what's even funner is to actually eventually animate it. Okay, so if you when you take the digital editing class, the After Effects class, it'll be really important to make sure that you understand all that. These were done in Illustrator too. You see how photorealistic that is. Okay, amazing stuff. We don't have to look at all of them. You can, but I don't need to. And then here's Terry White. Here's his channel. He has a bunch of cool stuff. He's been around for years and years and years. These are free things, right? So if you do get stuck, here's some 10 Adobe keyboard shortcuts you should know. How to crop images in Illustrator, finally. And random stuff. Okay, so if you need more stuff you'd want free, you can use YouTube, but this is a good site also to use. Pluralsight I talked about. All right, so what you're going to do now, this is the end of this video, this will be in a second. You'll watch the setting up your Dropbox folder, okay, or video. So when you set that up, then you'll see what the next part of this is, then you can get into the playing with Illustrator, and then finally the actual assignment, okay? So I will see you in the next video.